Hello everyone, this is Khushbu Chauhan from Nucleic Acid Biochemistry Lab, and today I am going to present assignment for Advanced Nanomaterials course. As we all know, an unexpected outbreak of coronavirus disease 2019, which is COVID-19, has collapsed many healthcare systems and crashed numerous economies. COVID-19 has spread around the planet, sending billions of people into lockdown as health services struggle to cope. Since first being recorded late last year in China, the SARS coronavirus has spread around the world and has been declared as a pandemic by World Health Organization. However, differences in testing mean that the number of cases may be understated for some countries. Obviously, large countries tend to have higher numbers both of cases and of death, but there are many other factors in place such as demographic profiles of the countries. Countries with aging populations may be hit harder because the disease is more dangerous to older people. So this is the COVID-19 pandemic worldwide. We know that cases are increasing on a daily basis. This is the classification of different type of coronaviruses. Coronaviruses were discovered in 1960s and they were classified under family Coronaviridae, which is the largest family within the order Nidovirales. Family Coronaviridae encompasses two subfamilies, subfamily Orthocoronavirinae and subfamily Torovirinae. Subfamily Orthovirinae includes four genera, which are alpha coronavirus, beta coronavirus, gamma coronavirus, and delta coronavirus. So, this SARS-CoV-2 belongs to beta coronaviruses. Unlike all human coronavirus that cause mild respiratory symptoms, SARS coronavirus, MERS coronavirus, and SARS coronavirus 2 are associated with serious respiratory diseases. This is the genomic organization of SARS coronavirus 2. The coronavirus genome is a single-stranded positive sense RNA molecule. The genome size ranges between 27 to 32 kilobase pair, which is one of the largest known RNA viruses. The genome encodes two large genes, ORF1A shown in yellow, ORF1B shown in blue color, which encode 16 non-structural proteins NSP1 to NSP16. These non-structural protein NSPs are processed to form a replication transcription complex, which is RTC, that is involved in genome transcription and replication. For example, NSP3 and NSP5 encode for papain-like protease and 3CL protease respectively. Both proteins function in polypeptides cleaving and block the host innate immunity response. NSP12 encodes for RNA-dependent RNA polymerase, which is RDRP. NSP15 encodes for RNA helicase. The structural gene encodes the structural protein, which is spike S, envelope E, membrane M, and nucleocapsid N, which is highlighted in green color. The accessory proteins highlighted in gray are unique to SARS coronavirus 2 in terms of number, genomic organization, sequence, and function. Now let's discuss the life cycle of SARS coronavirus 2 in the host cell. The S-glycoproteins of the virion bind to the cellular receptor angiotensin converting enzyme 2, which is ACE2, and enters target cell through an endosomal pathway. Following the entry of the virus into the cell, the viral RNA is unveiled into the cytoplasm. ORF1A and ORF1AB are translated to produce PP1A and PP1AB polyproteins, which are cleaved by the protease of the RTC. During replication, RTC drives the production full length of antisense RNA copies of the genome and used as templates for full length sense RNA genomes. During transcription, a nested set of subgenomic RNAs, which is guide RNAs, sgRNAs, is produced in a manner of discontinuous transcription, which is fragmented one. Even though these sgRNAs may have several open reading frames, only the closest ORF to the 5' will be translated. Following the production of SARS coronavirus 2 structural proteins, nucleocapsids are assembled in the cytoplasm and followed by budding into the lumen of the cytoplasmic reticulum to Golgi intermediate compartment. Virions are then released from the infected cell through endocytosis process. Now let's move towards the chronology of events which occur during SARS-2 infection. When SARS coronavirus 2 infects cells expressing the surface receptor angiotensin converting enzyme ACE2 and TMPRSS2, the active replication and release of the virus cause the host cell to undergo pyroptosis and release damage associated molecular patterns. These are recognized by neighboring epithelial cells, endothelial cells, and macrophages, which trigger the generation of pro-inflammatory cytokines and chemokines, including IL-6, IP-10, and macrophage inflammatory protein 1 alpha, MIPI beta, and MCP1. These proteins then attract monocytes, macrophages, and T cells to the site of infection, promoting further inflammation and establishing a pro-inflammatory feedback loop. In a defective immune response, which is on the left side, lead to further accumulation of immune cells in the lungs, which cause overproduction of pro-inflammatory cytokines, eventually damaging the lung infrastructure. The resulting cytokine circulate to other organ, leading to multi-organ damage. In addition, non-neutralizing antibodies produced by B cells may enhance the infection through antibody-dependent enhancement, which is ADE, further giving rise to organ damage. Alternatively, in a healthy immune response, which is on the right side, the initial inflammation attracts virus-specific T cells to the site of infection, where they can eliminate the infected cell before the virus spreads. Neutralizing antibodies in these individuals can block viral inflammation, and macrophages recognize neutralized viruses and apoptotic cells and clean them by phagocytosis. Altogether, these processes lead to clearance of the virus and minimize the lung damage, resulting in the recovery. So these are the clinical symptoms and diagnosis of COVID-19. As we all know, diagnosis nowadays includes nucleic acid detection kits such as RT-PCR and antibody detection kits such as ELISA and antigen antibody complexation. Other diagnostic tests are X-ray and CT. The clinical symptoms are pneumonia, low-grade fever, fatigue, and runny nose, sore throat, and even hypoxemia and septic shock. So today I am going to present a research article which was published in ACS Nano Journal in May 2020. The title of the article is Selective Naked Eye Detection of SARS Coronavirus 2 Mediated by N-Gene Targeted Antisense Oligonucleotide capped plasmonic nanoparticles. As we all know, the efforts to contain the virus are going on, but considering the many uncertainties regarding the pathogen virulence, the efficacy of these efforts are unknown. A crucial shortcoming of the healthcare system has been the ability to rapidly and accurately diagnose the disease, with various contributing factors such as shortage of test kits and accurately diagnose the disease um, with unavailability of personal protective equipment and reagents, limited certified testing centers, and no established funding mechanism to support these testing facilities. Therefore, a key part of the management of COVID-19 pandemic lies in flattening the curve. That is, decreasing the endemic peak through different measures taken for reducing the rate of new infections. Down modulating the infection rate will therefore help in minimizing the risk of overwhelming health facilities, allowing faster care of existing cases, and delaying new cases before any therapeutic or a vaccine is available. At present, COVID-19 is being primarily diagnosed by three techniques. First one is RT-PCR and gene sequencing. Second one is lateral flow immunoassay, which is common point of care diagnostic approach, which detects antibody against SARS coronavirus 2. And the third one is chest computed tomography CT. Limitations of sample collection and transportation, as well as the performance of the kit with inadequate access to advanced techniques are there. Uh, However, serological tests are rapid, POC, and require minimal equipment. Their efficacy may be limited in the diagnosis of SARS coronavirus 2 only, as it may take several days to weeks after the onset of the symptom for a patient to develop a detectable antibody response. Therefore, as some of the existing techniques remain laborious and technically challenging, there is an urgent need for a rapid, cost-effective, and selective and accurate also diagnostic test for COVID-19 that can provide fast and accurate test results within a duration of less than an hour or possibly within the minutes. So this is the schematic representation of the study. As we know, gold nanoparticles have been used for various biotechnological applications due to their exceptional optical properties such as high extinction coefficient, localized surface plasmon resonance, and their amazing photostability. A calorimetric bioassay was developed for the detection of DNA RNA targets based on unmodified gold nanoparticle aggregation using disulfide self assembly of terminal modified DNA. The products generated in this approach not only demonstrated a high affinity for the surface of gold nanoparticles but also protected them efficiently from salt induced aggregation. These gold nanoparticles, when kept suitably designed thiol modified antisense oligonucleotide, which is ASO, specific for N gene of coronavirus 2, could potentially be used for diagnosing positive COVID-19 cases within a few minutes. The methodology described herein utilizes as all-inclusive targeting approach mediated by four of the ASO, which is thiol modified antisense oligonucleotides, covering two regions of the viral N gene sequence at the same time. These thiol modified ASO capped gold nanoparticles agglomerate only in the presence of its target RNA sequence of SARS coronavirus 2 and thus demonstrate a change in its surface plasmon resonance, which is further amplified with the addition of RNase H, leading to the visually detectable precipitation of gold nanoparticles. The reliability and reproducibility of the current biosensor increases based on its design of simultaneous targeting of two of the N gene regions of the SARS coronavirus 2, ensuring the feasibility of the assay even if one region of the viral gene undergoes mutation during its current spread. So this is the strategy behind the sensor development. During the current spread of COVID-19 causative virus, SARS coronavirus 2, scientists have discovered three regions among the SARS related viral genome that had conserved sequences. These sequences are first RDRP gene, which is RNA dependent RNA polymerase, responsible for open reading frame region. Second one is E gene, which is envelope protein gene, and third one is N gene, which is nucleocapsid phosphoprotein gene. The analytical sensitivity of both the RDRP and E genes were demonstrated to be quite high with a technical limit of detection of 3.6 and 3.9 copies per reaction, while the sensitivity for N gene was observed to be much weaker, which is 8.3 copies per reaction. So this leaves an enormous area for the improvement of biosensors which are targeted for N gene sequence of coronavirus. A sensitive biosensor selectively targeting the N gene sequence of SARS coronavirus 2 with a visual naked eye response without the need of access to any sophisticated instrumental techniques would greatly benefit the current sensor development research in COVID-19. Apart from this, the analytical sensitivity of the biosensor can be improved by simultaneous targeting of multiple genetic regions within the same gene sequence, which will add to features of the biosensor. This will also increase the feasibility of the assay even if one region of the viral gene undergoes mutation during its current spread. Now let's move to methodology part. The first thing is antisense oligonucleotide design. The N gene sequences of SARS virus were used as target. ASOs were found to have the folding temperature at 37 degrees with ionic conditions of 1 molar sodium chloride for a length of 20 nucleotide. Then the synthesis of citrate stabilized gold nanoparticles. For this 25 millimolar of tetrachloroauric acid was injected to the boiling solution of sodium citrate. The color of the solution changed after 20 minutes, and then the citrate capped gold nanoparticles were resuspended in water. Then functionalization of gold nanoparticle with ASOs. Citrate stabilized gold nanoparticles were taken at 3 into 10 to the power 10 particles per ml concentration, treated with ASOs at three different concentration, which is 0.5, 1 and 2 micromole for each of the 4 ASOs. The mixture was then stayed at room temperature for 30 minutes, centrifuged and then centrifuged to remove any excess of uncapped ASO from the supernatant, and the pellet was then resuspended in water. So 12 different samples for 4 of the ASOs at 3 different concentrations were prepared, and they were named as Gold ASO XL, Gold ASO XM, Gold ASO XH, where X is the number of ASO such as 1, 2, 3 or 4, and L, M and H are representative of low, medium and high concentrations of ASOs. And then the system there were various systems used for the validation, such as signal amplification, RNase-H treatment, absorption spectra measurement, measurement of hydrodynamic diameter, TEM and hyperspectral analysis were performed. Now let's discuss the result part. So this is the figure 1. Among the predicted ASO sequences, 4 of the ASOs were selected based on their comparative binding disruption energies and binding energies with the target sequence. One of the other parameter behind the selection of these 4 ASO sequence was their closely following target position. The ASOs were then differentially functionalized. ASO1 and ASO3 were functionalized with thiol moiety at the 5' end, whereas ASO2 and ASO4 were functionalized with the thiol moiety at the 3' end, as we can see in figure 1a. These ASOs, when used to cap gold nanoparticles, are expected to become agglomerated selectively in the presence of N gene sequence of SARS coronavirus 2, which can be corroborated with their complementary binding followed by aggregation among the nanoparticles. Figure 6 shows the hyperspectral map image of the gold ASO mix in the presence of RNA, in the presence of target RNA. It is important to identify the distribution and location of each type of gold ASOs in the hybrid cluster of gold ASO mix when bound with its target viral RNA. It was observed that uh, AUASO3H has the highest distribution across the sample, which was followed by AUASO4M, AUASO1M, and AUASO2L, which might be a combinatorial effect of theoretical binding disruption energies, theoretical target binding energies, and experimental sensing capabilities of each of the ASO. Figure B to F shows a zoomed in image of the hybrid cluster of gold nanoparticles, where the location of each of the gold ASOs is represented using color code, which is red, green, blue and purple. Also the nanoparticles gold ASO1M and gold ASO2L, which is red and green, are found to be localized in regions close to each other, which is due to the proximity of their target position in the N gene sequence of the coronavirus. And this is the figure 2. The differentially functionalized thiol modified ASOs were utilized to exchange the surface capping agent of the citrate stabilized gold nanoparticles. The TEM images, figure A and B, show that the ASO capped gold nanoparticles are individually dispersed with no visual aggregation. All of the four ASO capped gold nanoparticles exhibit a small anhydrous size of less than 30 nanometer, which are well dispersed without the formation of any large entity. Figure C shows the average hydrodynamic sizes of the four individual ASO capped gold nanoparticles, which were found to be less than 60 nanometer. Two absorption peak, one at 530 nanometer and the other one at 620 nanometer were observed after the thiol modified absorption peak, um, after the thiol modified ASO capping on the surface of gold nanoparticle, as we can see in figure D. Then the relative selectivity of the various ASO capped gold nanoparticles toward the target SARS coronavirus 2 RNA was monitored with the comparative increase in absorbance at 660 nanometer. It was observed that the surface capping of thiol modified ASOs together with the comparative ratio of the ASO to the gold nanoparticles play a major role in determining the sensitivity of the gold nanoparticles towards the target RNA. To investigate the effect of ASO to gold nanoparticle ratio on the sensitivity of the sensing platform, three different ratios of um, ASO to gold nanoparticles have been tested. The ratios are named as the following: high ASOH, medium ASOM, and low ASOL concentration for the four ASOs. Among these 12 different combination of the ASO conjugated gold nanoparticles, which vary in the ratio of ASO to gold nanoparticle ratio, ASOM was found to be the most sensitive ratio of the gold nanoparticles capped with ASO1. However, among ASO2, the low ratio was found to be the most sensitive in detecting the viral RNA, the high ratio in ASO3, and finally the medium in ASO4. After optimizing the ASO2 gold nanoparticle ratio to obtain the maximum sensitivity, all four of the ASO capped gold nanoparticles, that is um, gold ASO1M, gold ASO2L, gold ASO3H, and gold ASO4M, were mixed in an equivalent amount to each other to further improve the analytical sensitivity of the gold nanoparticles toward the target RNA. Figure A shows the normalized change um, in the absorbance of gold nanoparticles before and after the addition of total RNA containing the SARS coronavirus 2 viral load. Figure B shows the comparative change in average hydrodynamic diameter of the composite of gold ASO mix before and after the addition of RNA containing SARS coronavirus 2, where the RNA concentration was varied from zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.5 and 1 nanogram per microliter. The hydrodynamic diameter of gold ASO mix nanoparticle increased lately with the addition of its target RNA containing SARS coronavirus 2. This indicates that the enhanced propensity of the nanoparticles to aggregate in the presence of its target RNA containing SARS coronavirus 2. Figure C to F shows the TEM images of the gold ASO mixed nanoparticles after addition of RNA. A significant amount of clustering was found among the nanoparticles in the presence of their target viral RNA. Figure G shows the percent change in absorbance at 660 nanometer of the ASO capped gold nanoparticles at different incubation time points with a defined concentration of 1 nanogram per microliter RNA. Now figure 5. Figure 5a illustrates the EDFM SHI image of the gold ASO mixed nanoparticles in the absence of its target RNA. The gold nanoparticles in the gold ASO mix were found to be well dispersed with insignificant aggregation among the gold nanoparticles. Figure B shows the average spectrum of the hyperspectral signal of all the gold nanoparticles that existed in the dark field image. After the addition of RNA having a SARS coronavirus to viral gene, a significant number of clustered gold nanoparticles were observed in the sample, indicating the enhanced propensity among the nanoparticles to aggregate, as we can see in figure C. In the presence of viral RNA, researchers observed broadening in the average spectral signature with a red shift in the spectrum tail, as we can see in figure D. Figure E shows the control in non-infected RNA from the Vero cells. F shows the control non-infected RNA from the Vero cells. The overlay of hyperspectral data is represented in figure G. And at last, the selectivity of the current SARS coronavirus 2 sensor was tested when the gold ASO mixed nanoparticles were treated against the total RNA isolated from cell lysate of Vero cells infected with MERS coronavirus and the total RNA isolated from cell lysate of non-infected Vero cells. An insignificant change in absorbance at 616 nanometer wavelength was observed in figure 1a, 7a when the gold ASO mixed nanoparticles were treated with these RNAs at a concentration of 1 nanogram per microliter. Relative change in absorbance at 660 nanometer wavelength for the gold ASO mixed nanoparticles treated with SARS coronavirus 2 RNA followed by the addition of RNase H has been plotted in figure B when the mixture was incubated at different temperatures for 5 minutes. The schematic representation for the visual naked eye detection of SARS coronavirus 2 with the treatment of RNase H at 65 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes is shown in figure C. This is the schematic representation how to detect the viral load. Uh, Gold nanoparticles tend to agglomerate in the presence of viral RNA only, target viral RNA only. Now let's conclude the presentation. The current outbreak of the pandemic demands its rapid, convenient and large-scale diagnosis to down-regulate the spread. But the reliability, selectivity and reproducibility of such diagnostic tests fail when they are tested either to a viral load at its early representation or when a viral gene is mutated during the current spread. The development of a calorimetric assay based on gold nanoparticles, when capped with suitably designed thiol modified antisense oligonucleotides specific for N gene of the SARS coronavirus 2, could be used for successfully diagnosing positive COVID-19 cases within 10 minutes. The current methodology ensures its feasibility even with the mutated N gene form of the virus during its spread, as the assay has been designed to simultaneously target two separate regions of the gene. So the current study reports a reliable, reproducible, selective and visual naked eye detection of COVID-19 virus, which is SARS coronavirus 2, and this method is devoid of the requirement of any sophisticated instrumental techniques. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Have a nice day. Thank you.